Your attention, please.
The DisGeek Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the DisGeek Podcast. My name is Daniel Hale, and we got a great show coming up. We're going to talk about Halloween, new resident ticket offer for Californians. That's great for me. Jungle Cruise, all kinds of good stuff. But before we get into it, let's introduce the DisGeek crew. Let's say hello to Tommy Ellison. Hey, Tommy.
Hi, Daniel. How are you today?
I'm doing
Jess.
great.
Hi, Tommy.
And Jess.
I'm here too. Hey.
Jess Jones.
I just got up 9 days in a row.
Oh, my
Thank you.
God.
No.
Yep.
Oh, boy. Hope you had some good breaks in between.
This is not on the show agenda. Let me just quickly ask, how's Avengers Campus doing? I've heard it's chilled out. And it's not the madhouse that it was.
No, it's definitely more normal. I don't really know how to describe it. We don't have the entrances blockaded. We don't have lines that take all day to get through to get in just to see the land. The virtual queue is gone within seconds, just like the Rise one is every day for both time frames. There's still a very large number of people that walk up to you at the front of the ride every day asking, what is this? What's a virtual queue?
Yeah.
I don't know how, if you need reservations to come to the park, you still don't know what the hell a virtual queue is.
Yeah.
It just baffles me how ill-prepared people are for a vacation that they really do have to plan because of the pandemic. You've really got to plan this and know what you're doing. Yet they're still showing up and not knowing what they're doing.
To be fair, at other theme parks, you could just show up and get in line, and you're not dealing with reservations and virtual queues and all that stuff. And I think just a lot of people aren't thinking of that. They're just thinking, we're going to go to the park and, we're going to see the new stuff and we'll get in line and whatever.
Yeah.
With Disneyland and Disney World, you gotta.
I agree.
But because we're doing a reservation thing, I would assume that people would know more. They wouldn't be so oblivious to another thing that has to be reserved.
Right.
I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Right. But, other theme parks like in Southern California, such as Knott's and Six Flags, they are also doing the reservation system as well. And, you just can't just show up. They're doing the reservation system for the restaurants and everything like that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, I figured it had to just
but there are no ride reservations for Knott's or for Six Flags as far as I know.
They don't need it. They don't have
but,
anything.
I think a lot of people are just not grasping, how much Disney is relying on the Disneyland app and the Walt Disney World My Experience, how much you really need to use it to make your, especially your trip to Walt Disney World an enjoyable,
a success.
worthwhile, success and worthwhile experience. I will say that you can plan all you want, as much as you want, and try to, get on virtual queues and blah, 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 blah. But when you have incidents like what happened today, I don't know if you heard about it, but there was an internet outage, and it affected both the Walt Disney World and the Disneyland app.
Oh boy!
And
I'm glad I'm not working today then.
Yeah. So can you imagine, people that, that use the Disneyland app for their ticket entrance and all that stuff.
That's pretty much,
90%
of our crowd.
Right. And so they come in and they can't get it. They can't, download their QR code, their barcode, whatever it is. And it's a bummer. It's a real bummer. And so, technology can be a blessing. It could also be a curse.
Oh yeah.
Internet outages, power outages. Yep. That sort of thing. We had a power outage here in near my home and my office, and we were messed up for a day and a half.
Oh, wow.
And so, this can happen. This is a reality. I mean, you're in a state of California where, we're having flex alerts. And that means power can go down, and a lot of people just, don't think about that type of thing. They think, the power's always going to be there. The water's always going to be on. But as we've experienced the last year, don't say no, don't say never. It'll never happen, because
True.
Who would have thought that we would not be?
I mean, look what happened in Texas last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Or this year.
The
I
floods,
don't remember. What year was that?
The floods.
It was during the
floods. Yeah, but you just you don't expect any of this stuff happen, because you think life is just goes on just the way it goes on. But we can have interruptions in our life.
Well, I'm glad to hear that Avengers Campus is doing well. Just in true DisGeek fashion, we talked about how it was a cluster, and this whole thing with the character meet and greets was a disaster because they weren't telling people what times they came out. And sure enough, the next day after we recorded, they announced that they would be posting times, and that Avengers episode ended up going out way later because the episode ended up being like 4 hours or something. So I cut in half. But hey, let's get into a couple of news items. And also in true DisGeek fashion, it is July. So naturally, it's time to start talking about Halloween.
Yay!
And Disneyland has announced that HalloweenTime will be returning. And it's going to happen on September 3rd to October 31st. And if you want to know what Disneyland's going to be doing, just listen to episode from 2019, 2018, 2017. Should I keep going? I honestly, I don't feel like saying the same thing again, another year. It's the same stuff. Haunted Mansion Holiday.
Like really exactly the same as 2019, because we're doing the Oogie Boogie Bash again. And the only thing we won't have is the World of Color Halloween show.
Yeah.
That's the only difference, but it's really the same, exactly the same.
But the dates say we got them September 3rd to October 31st, and I'm happy that it's back. We're at a period now where we can start doing this stuff again. So that's great.
Yeah, very, very happy that Halloween isn't canceled yet again.
Yeah, Oogie Boogie Bash is back as well, and it's going to be happening September and October. And last I checked, which was about a couple hours ago, tickets are still available, but there's not a lot of them. There are tickets that are still for sale. It does say from $114 per person, but I don't think any of those are left. I think it's sort of in the in between,
like the 149 ones.
Yeah, it's between 114 and 169, and I think it's somewhere. I can just look really quick. Yeah, 124, 169. So as I'm looking at this, it's like every Thursday of September is available. The last three Sundays, and then one Saturday, the 11th. So, who knows? Like that, by the time this show comes out in a couple of days, who knows what will be left, but hopefully...
I didn't even know that they still had tickets. I thought for sure they were going to sell out that day.
Yeah, well, I think that like Halloween...
Well, the virtual queue was better than when they opened up Disneyland's ticket.
Oh, it was horrible. I had a friend at work. I was in the middle of my training for web, and right before... he got off at like 5:30. He exclaimed, "Oh, I finally got in." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I've been in the virtual queue since 9 a.m. for Oogie Boogie Bash." And I was like, "Are you kidding me right now? Like, you just left your phone on through your entire shift and checked it at your breaks to see if you got through." I just couldn't believe it.
I don't understand.
I don't either.
The internet and the whole notion of buying tickets and buying things online isn't like a new concept at this point. Like,
no, it's not. But leave it to Disney to make it a nightmare.
And they know they're going to have a huge demand for it.
Exactly.
Like, have too much, and then have it not be. You know what I mean? Like, rather than they just are, or there's a conspiracy conspiracy theory that sometimes
Of course.
Apple does this kind of stuff too, is they create demand by
doesn't really
not
exist.
making enough phones. And they create more of a demand with Disney people so that it gets on the news. It's kind of a negative story, but it's kind of saying at the same time, look how popular this party is. It's crashing our servers. Come back later. And sure enough, there's a few tickets. There's still tickets available. But part of me feels like they purposely set it low, like the server load or something like that, knowing it's going to crash and knowing it's going to frustrate people, but also knowing it'll get on the news. Maybe that's a crazy theory, but
I really do. I agree with you with that 100%.
Well, I'll tell you, Disney should, if they can develop an app like Disney Plus, and actually have millions of people stream video all at the same time, 24/7, 365 days a year, and they can't create an app to serve, to sell 50,000, tickets. I mean, to sell, I don't know how many thousand tickets they sell for each day, but, just say it's 30,000 times how many days, I don't know, maybe it's a million tickets. They should be able to do that, to have the software and the ability to make something that works correctly.
Yeah, I agree. That doesn't sound like an unreasonable request.
Yeah, I know. I mean, this is only for if they're going to require us to make reservations, and this should work. This should actually work. I was in the virtual queue 7 hours. So yes, I had it on my phone, my desktop, and I had it open on my phone, my desktop, and my iPad.
I mean, even getting tickets to Hamilton's easier than this.
Yeah, probably so. Probably so. But it's really crazy. They this is the way they do it. They tell you, you have to wait for how many hours, and then once they let you into the queue, they pulse you into the queue. You wait approximately between 45 minutes and 25 minutes or something like that, because it seems to go faster once the queue is open for you, and then they give you 10 minutes to place your order, and that includes figuring out what dates, how many people, and then putting in all your credit card information. And you all this anxiety of getting the tickets, and waiting and making sure things don't crash and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. You got 10 minutes to make a purchase,
and your 10 minutes go.
10 minutes, and then oh, did I get the right date? Did I pick out the right, the right tickets, and all that type of stuff. So I bought 8 tickets. 8 tickets.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's like buying an annual pass in one day. Right. It is.
No, it is. It's like what, $1,200?
Huh? Yeah. It was it was crazy. It's like, I told my wife, I said, we just bought an annual pass for one day for 8 people to go to from a 6 to midnight show. That's 6 hours, I guess. Or you can come early at 3 to midnight or whatever.
Oh yeah, they let you in at 3.
Yeah.
It'll be fun though. Like when you're there,
Yeah, I know. It'll be. Yeah, we're gonna have a great time no matter what. This is gonna be a great experience. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed about the World of Color not being operational. Maybe they'll change their mind. Hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers.
It's not gonna happen.
Okay. Maybe after I push the record button off, I could get we could get an update.
Thank you, Jess, for ruining
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I only paid almost $1,000 for these tickets, so I get no World of Color.
No World of Color is gonna just
for you.
magically
appear at the show. It's not in any shape to go on.
Is it broken again?
Wait,
I'll ask you about World of Color when we're done, because
I can just the only thing I can say on our podcast is that don't expect World of Color to be like, hey, surprise, we're at the party. Not gonna happen. Sorry.
But anyway, I think it's going to be a good time. I think it was a very well produced show experience when we were there last time, and the parade is great, and I just love all the projections all over, and the meet and greets are pretty cool. It's well done.
Without any of the characters even in there, I just saw it super late and didn't realize there wasn't going to be anybody in it when we went to see it later. But I still enjoyed it. It was really cool.
They had at the last one, they had a annual pass holder trail, candy trail.
Oh.
So I wonder if they're going to have a legacy pass holder trail.
Probably.
For all, and it's going to be themed to all the things that you can't do at Disney anymore.
Right.
So there'll be like an annual pass.
Like Go?
Yeah. Yeah, go.com. Yeah, annual pass holders, they're trying to use their APs and they can't get in, and they're crying, that type of thing.
Pictures of Bob
So it'll be like a
Chapek.
horror trail.
They'll have an animatronic of Bob Chapek chopping up an annual pass and laughing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Tommy, as a California resident, you can visit the resort 3 times before September 30th for as little as $244. So
What is that, only like $83 a visit or something?
something like that. I don't know, but they did announce that they do have a California resident ticket offer that's going on right now. And so it's for one park. You can upgrade it actually. Oh gosh, I think it's $55, and you can upgrade it to make it a park hopper. I think it expires. Yeah, I guess it expires January 30th. So I guess you want to go to 3 times. What happens if you only go 2? Like, I wonder. But that's something you can call Disneyland about and ask them. But
I guarantee they're not going to give you any of your money back. Sorry, am I being too realistic?
No, you're not at all. Not at all.
1-star review again.
I'm sorry.
Jess, it's just part of the nature of everything right now. It's just like everything is kind of like.
Well, okay, do you want to hear my part of the Oogie Boogie Bash?
Okay, go ahead.
My 2 girlfriends, we went to the Oogie Boogie Bash for the first time, 2019, and we were the 3 fairies from Sleeping Beauty. It was perfect for a trio. So this year, I heard the announcement, okay, tickets are going to go on sale on the 13th. So I texted the 2 of them, and I said, hey, do you guys think you want to do this? Do you think being the Sanderson sisters would be cool? I've always wanted to do that. They were like, oh, yeah, that sounds great, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, so this is the deal with the tickets. These are the prices. This is what's going to happen. And we're going to have to, do it online, and it's probably going to be a nightmare. But I was like, I don't work till later in the day, so I can do it and just buy our tickets. And we were all set. We were going to do it, except we hadn't really talked about like what day to go. A couple days went by. I hadn't heard anything back from anybody. So the night before, it was the 12th, I said, hey, you guys realize these tickets go on sale tomorrow morning at 9. We need to know a date. We need to pick a date together if you guys want to do this. And these are the price ranges, yada, yada. And I didn't hear from anybody. So right before 9 a.m., I texted them again, and I was like, are we doing this or what? Because we need to have ours together, or we're not going to be able to do it. And so we didn't hear from one girl, and the other girl called me. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to drive to work. And I said, yeah, I figured you were. And we made a split decision choice executively that it was too expensive. Disney was getting too money hungry. There was too much stuff missing from the bash for the prices to be as high as they were. And it was going to be a nightmare trying to get the tickets anyway. And we just decided within a few seconds, you know what? Let's just wait till next year. We'll have more time to get our costumes together. We'll be able to pick a day that everybody will be happy with. because my friend was like, I can only go on a Saturday. I can't take any days off of work. And I was like, oh, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to be able to get a Saturday off during Halloween time right after we come back to work. So it was just, it was going to turn into something horrific that nobody could really do. And nobody wanted to pay that much to have to go on a Saturday.
Yeah.
So we just decided against it. And I'm fine with it. I haven't talked to them since we made the decision, but I'm like, I'm cool. It's fine. I still can't get into the park, even as a cast member. So, this year is just kind of 2020 and 2021 are kind of just the same year for me. Except now I'm working again, but it still feels like it's all the same. I still have anxiety at work, and I always have a mask on me. So if I just start to feel weird because there's too many people around me, I'll just throw the mask on.
Yeah.
So
I always put mine on at Walmart just by default. Like I think I'm going to wear a mask from now on. It's specifically Walmart.
It's just because the numbers don't add up. They tell us how many people in like every county we live in like are vaccinated. And then if you look around at the crowd, you're like, okay, so that means like 50% of these people should have their masks on. And that's not the same number.
Yeah.
The numbers aren't adding up.
In Santa Monica, we have 70% vaccination.
Yeah.
Full vaccination in Santa Monica.
But when you go out in public, does it seem like the last 30 that aren't vaccinated are actually still wearing masks?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I see people wearing masks on the street still.
I just feel like the percentages are not the same.
Well, yeah, I think if you go outside of, you go downtown to Los Angeles or something like that, yeah, it's much higher.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to get too controversial, so.
No, it's fine.
It is what it is. That's life. So I'll move on to another topic that's not going to be controversial at all. Jungle Cruise has reopened with changes and things missing and new things, and I'm fine. No, honestly, I think I've seen a little bit of it. I haven't seen a lot of it, and all the new stuff looks pretty cool. And I think it makes up for what's missing. So not that big of a deal. Some of the pictures I've seen with the sunken boat and Trader Sam's like store or whatever that is, like the trading post or whatever, it looks cool. But I personally haven't seen it. I've just read about it, and I saw like a couple of video clips of it, but I haven't watched like a ride through or anything like that. Looking at Mouse Planet. They're talking about how like there's like little like storyline, like little Easter eggs that have to do with the old school. That was at Disney World. What was that called? The Congaloosh.
The Adventurers Club?
Yeah, the Adventurers Club. So there's like a lot of like Adventurers Club references.
Okay.
And it's one of those things like when you see it, like if you know it, you know it. But like,
right.
Most people probably aren't going to know it.
Yeah, most people have no clue.
I wouldn't have known unless I had read this, because I read this on Mouse Planet. So I was just like, yeah. But it's great to see the Jungle Cruise back. Normally, this is the part of the show where I've asked, Tommy, have you seen it yet? But I already know the answer.
No.
Right.
No, I haven't even looked on video.
I didn't even know like we had a date for it to reopen.
Yeah, Jungle Cruise is one of those rides that I usually rode once a year, and usually it's at night because it's kind of weird and funky at night.
It's awesome at night, yeah.
In fact, at night you can actually see extra animals running around. Such as raccoons and rats and like everything like that. Yeah, extra animals.
The feral cats.
Yeah, I've seen feral cats there. Yeah, absolutely. But the best night was when I saw a big old rat run across. And the skipper goes, "Oh, look, Mickey Mouse's family."
Oh, jeez.
Here.
Yeah, Jungle Cruise is also one that I will do like once a year. To go on it at night just because it's too hot in the daytime to go on.
It's kind of murky and kind of gross.
Depending on what time of year it is, I guess.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I mean, there's always my biggest fear, and it happened to me, is getting stuck on Jungle Cruise.
Oh, really? You were evac?
Yeah, we were stuck on it, and we had to go backwards because the boat in front of us had died, so they couldn't move it. And we were stuck in the jungle for like 45
Were you
minutes
like
an hour.
in the middle of the ride? Or...
we're just past the elephant.
Oh yeah, okay. So you were back in the back.
Yeah, we were way in the back.
Back by the train tracks.
Yeah.
And is the skipper like,
it was,
well,
he was making jokes.
Yeah, trying to like stall and stuff.
Yeah. So we actually had to be pushed back because our engine failed.
Oh,
Not only that, so what happened was an engine failed ahead of us. And so they had to go and move that, but they couldn't move it because it was stuck on the track or something like that. So they had to get, a diver in or something like that.
Wow.
So our engine just stopped.
Probably because it was just too long.
Yeah. And then and he couldn't turn it back on. And so, he's like, he had a radio in. He goes, well, I can't move. I need some help to be pulled in.
Wow.
And so that's what happened. They had to move everyone back, and then they had to come to us and bring up a little boat. And
I always wondered about that attraction.
And pulled us back. Yeah, I always recommend going to the bathroom before you go on the Jungle Cruise because you never know.
I would recommend going to the bathroom before you get in line for any ride.
Yeah, you never know if you're going to be
because
stuck.
You don't ever know how long you're going to be in that line or if you might get stuck on the ride.
Right, exactly.
Tommy, did the skipper tell the guy pulling you back to stop being a backseat driver?
No, he didn't, but that's a good one.
See?
That's a good one. I like
I'm
that.
only disappointed that they didn't put a rock animatronic. I mean, that's really missed opportunity.
That's what I thought they were going to do, so they didn't do that, huh?
Oh,
apparently
please,
not.
no. God, no.
Hey, speaking of...
The Rock,
and the Jungle Cruise and stuff. I watched today. I think it came out today or yesterday. Is this new show on Disney Plus, which is Behind the Attraction? And
yes, I just watched it, finished it before we came on.
Yeah, and I watched the Jungle Cruise episode, and I just noticed that on all of the episodes, it said that it was produced by Dwayne Johnson. Or he was one of the executive producers, probably because he appeared in the first one about the Jungle Cruise. But no, that was fun. The only thing I didn't like about that show, here's my review of the show, good stuff, good information. I knew most of it anyway, but I like seeing the interviews and stuff, but I hate these documentaries. It's kind of like the movies that made us or the toys that make us, where they're like being goofy and they're doing weird edits to it and they're trying to be funny.
Oh,
stop doing that. People who make documentaries, it's super annoying. I can't stand it.
They repeat
the same joke over and over.
The same joke, but not only that, is that they repeat the same video and they cut out or they use a partial of that again.
Yeah,
partial vocal.
Now, now that
point,
normal that normal editing is because something was going to be on TV with commercial breaks.
No,
so do you think that's what it is? Like they're just stuck
no.
that mode.
They're trying to be funny.
No, they're trying to be funny. They're trying to be, they're trying to be. It was like, remember they did something with Walt and they kind of and he had this really obscure face.
Yeah.
In the Jungle Cruise thing, and it's like, you used that clip earlier, and why are you making fun of Walt? It's just, I don't know, which is fine. I don't care, but I mean, it's just like. Is that what it's going to be like throughout the whole series? We're gonna find. They found some pictures of Walt being upset, and he has this weird, grunt on his face.
I like the clips they used of Walt of him during the Disneyland the special, the opening of him waiting for his cue, right? So he's kind of standing there looking awkward.
Yeah,
exactly. They use that a lot.
They use stuff like that, which is kind of weird, Just I don't know.
But Raleigh Crump said something like, "It's supposed to be scary," and they repeated that clip over and they did it at least 5 or 6 times.
That's the Haunted Mansion one. Yeah.
But it's fun. It's entertaining. It's the same style as the Movies That Made Us, or if that's on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched those.
It's like that. It's like that sort of same style, where they're just like, and they're using, like, I remember I watched the Movies That Made Us, and it was about the Nightmare Before Christmas. And here they are, they're interviewing Danny Elfman, and they're making him look like a jackass. They're making him look like he's like a weirdo or something. Like, now he probably is, but like, you're focusing on something and you're trying to make it like a positive documentary about how awesome The Night Before Christmas is. And then they're using weird shots of Danny Elfman sitting there looking all awkward and not knowing what's going on. And it's just like, he's sitting there being interviewed and they haven't asked him a question yet or something. So he's just kind of waiting for something to happen. And they use clips of him like, what's going on? Like, and then they put it in the context like, oh, he's confused about something. You know what I mean? Like, they make him look like a dummy, and I'm just like...
It's like the twiddle your thumb moment, and they're just using that.
Yeah, and they use it as part of the documentary when...
Yeah. That's totally wrong.
And they were doing that with this... That's
just bad journalism.
Yeah, and that's what they were doing with this documentary about the Disneyland attractions. It was fun, it was entertaining, but they were doing that, and that's the one thing... That's my one complaint about it. They sure didn't make Rock look like a... sorry.
Well, the thing is that also there's really it's really superficial, the information that they gave you, because it was, it's very, very, doesn't go in deep. I mean,
it's
there's
just
stuff
Disney approved.
Yeah, it really.
Yeah, you're never
going
to get anything like.
It's fine.
You're not going to get any dirt on anything unless someone else produces it.
I'm actually quite shocked that they had Todd James Pierce on, because he had that book about C.V. Wood. he wrote that book about C.V. Wood. So, and that guy's persona non grata on Disney.
They also made sure to go out of their way to make sure that everybody knows that some of the former exhibits, I guess, that were in the Jungle Cruise, are wrong and should never have been there in the first place. Then they go on to show it, and anyway.
They're just covering their bases.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was entertaining. You might like it. It was fun to see, the interviews with the Imagineers and stuff like that. So that's always fun.
And I think it's important to have these interviews because these are people like Raleigh and Bob Gurr and a bunch of other people. There's just a handful.
There's a small
of people
handful of guys that
right
actually
now
knew and worked with Walt. Yeah.
Yeah, that are still alive.
Won't be here much longer.
Exactly, and that there needs to be in-depth interviews.
Yeah,
not this super. No, don't interview people who like to talk about people. Talk to the real person. It's just like, I was so angry about that story about that NPR. Was it NPR? National Public Radio. It was the one that was put on by PBS. That PBS special about Walt Disney, and like they had total access to the archives and everything like that. And they had two people that on the show that had nothing to do with Walt Disney whatsoever, and they didn't even interview the Imagineers or the people who knew Walt the best. And I mean, they got like 3 minutes. I like shut it down like 3 times because it was so bad, and didn't even interview Walt's daughter or her.
Really, I never got around to watching it. It was on my TiVo forever, and had her husband.
Now
I think it's lost because my TiVo just crashed. So.
Yeah, had her husband on, Ron Miller. He was on for like less than 2 minutes on the whole show. Oh. And it was like, oh my God, you could have interviewed Ron Miller, Walt's son-in-law, who was by his side, Walt's side, for decades, and you blew it off, and now he's gone. Who are these people that work in Hollywood and want to do these interviews with these people, and you have this opportunity, and you're blowing it out of your butt?
They did have going back to the documentary, the Haunted Mansion one, they did have a moment with Raleigh that I thought was really touching. I didn't think this documentary was capable of doing that, but it actually had a really great moment with Raleigh Crump. That was really touching. That I thought was really cool. I don't want to. I don't want to spoil it.
Wally's a great guy.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it for people who want to watch it. But yeah, it's not all bad. We're making it sound worse than it is.
No. I think what we want is not something that's fluff. We want something very substantial. We want to hear the stories that have not been told.
Yeah.
You know, that and we don't want something homogenized, because we've had the homogenized version of Walt and the Imagineers for so long.
Right.
It needs to be. We need a reality check on all of this stuff. I'm serious.
No, I agree. I totally agree.
I mean, come on.
You know my stance.
Yeah. So would appreciate what went on to build this sucker, because like Disneyland and Walt Disney World. I mean, it's amazing just to go there and you think about a handful of people, less than probably 200 people, working full time designing Disneyland and designing Walt Disney World and designing Epcot.
Yeah, especially
there will
the
never be another
stuff that had to happen to get Walt Disney World underway. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's so amazing. That story is amazing in itself. But just there will never be another Epcot built. I mean, it was the biggest construction project in the world at the time. And people don't realize that this was a huge endeavor, and it really put the company at risk.
Yeah.
And for building it, and my God,
I mean, Disneyland did too. Disneyland,
Disneyland
on
was
the brink of bankruptcy, and
exactly. It was $17 million. Walt sold his house, sold off life insurance policies, and stuff like that, risked it all. And a lot of people don't realize the gamble, the gamble, the investment, whatever you want to call it, to build Disneyland and have it still be here today is just amazing.
It's remarkable. Absolutely.
Yeah, the documentary that's about Disneyland that's on Disney Plus, not this one about the attractions, but the one that's actually about Disneyland. It's about 6 episodes before it became the Bob Iger show. But that is a much better documentary than this new one. Both are good, but that first one, it featured Bob Gurr walking around the Matterhorn and stuff. Like, Bob Gurr wasn't even in this new series.
What?
Yeah, he wasn't in it.
How could he not be there?
I don't know.
He's literally the last dude that's still alive, isn't he?
Yeah, no. Raleigh's still around, isn't he?
What do you mean? Conversations.
What are you talking about? You broke up there. What? Yeah.
He's one of the last people that's still alive, that's still coherent and can converse and tell you stuff. Give you some great stories. And when he's left out of a documentary, it just baffles me.
Yeah, he was not in the Haunted Mansion one, because the way this new show is just each episode is featuring a different attraction.
Yeah,
so,
you know what? I just stumbled upon it today when I was watching another episode of Loki.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, I need to see this, and I was like, oh, there's only 3 episodes. This is kind of odd.
Oh, that's weird.
Well, maybe it's going to be in the future one. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think they haven't released all the episodes on this. But anyway, well, at least we got something. That's what I have to say, right?
But I'm glad exactly. I'm glad they're doing something on Disney Plus, going behind the scenes in some form or fashion with the parks.
Right.
It's kind of stuff that I think if you pay attention, already. But it was interesting. So. And they're candid. They're not they don't.
Morsel they're throwing to us uber nerds that really like that kind of weird behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, and they're willing to say stuff like, "Oh, and Euro Disney didn't turn out so great," or they're aware of how they're perceived, and they don't sugarcoat. Anyway, those definitely check that stuff out. We were talking about Jungle Cruise, a very controversial subject, of course, and I brought up those documentaries because I thought they're new ones are okay, but old ones are better, but definitely if you have Disney Plus, check it out. So
worth a watch.
Yeah, definitely worth a watch. We want to, turn our attention away from controversy yet again. So we're trying to do good on here on DisGeek. I don't want to be all getting bad reviews and stuff like that. So we'll move on to the next topic. Disney park employees and products and recreation, they're all leaving California because it sucks. 2,000 employees are out of here. Disney parks, let's get it right. It is Disney Parks, Experiences, and Products. Their headquarters are moving to Florida. People who must be in California will remain. Everybody else is heading to Central Florida, in an area called, I'm sure it's like a suburb of Orlando, I assume. I have the name in front of me, but I can't find it. I know it.
Lake Noma.
Yep, that's it. Thank you, Tommy.
Yep.
I've only been to Florida a handful of times, so I've never heard of it, but I assume it's near Walt Disney World.
It's near the airport.
Okay.
Airport. I believe it's.
That's weird. Why not build it
east? Well, have to get the Imagineers on the plane back to California somehow, right?
That's true. When they get there and summer comes.
Oh yeah. Well, Walt WDI is moving there too.
Yeah.
They're moving WDI's offices. So that's a lot of people right there. Don't know what they'll do with I wonder what they're going to do with the office space and everything like that there. Maybe they can make it a museum.
Yeah. Tear it down for the next Star Wars expansion.
They can. This is where all the imagination started, and this is where because it's a great facility. So I don't know, but it's definitely a big change. Overall, it probably makes a lot of sense because it's a lot easier to buy a home back there. It's a lot easier to, they got their biggest resort in the world back there. I think they're going to try to. I think that you're going to see more expansion of Walt Disney World, more resort hotels, maybe another theme park. I think that they're going to. I know that they're expanding Flamingo Springs, which is an area for, I believe, Disney College program back there for cast members. So that's happening. Yeah, I think there's good things on the horizon. I think it's a big deal, but it's hard to move 2,000 people. And I'm sure a lot of people are counting the cost. Hey, I got my family here. I got my, I got Disneyland here. I got this, that.
I know it all too well.
You've done the whole thing yourself. Moving back there, but air travel makes it easier for you to come back, to California and stuff like that. But again, the life's. It's definitely different back there than out here. And,
sure is.
It'll be much more affordable for those people to buy homes that were renting houses and in Burbank and that were built in the 30s.
Exactly.
But now you can buy a brand new home and have a mortgage for like $1,200 a month.
That's right.
Instead of a crappy apartment for $25.
Right. Exactly. It just makes more sense overall. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
We will definitely see what happens.
But it's definitely a big investment. Disney is spending a lot of money on it, and it's going to bring a lot of money to that community too, all those people. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, why don't we go ahead and we move on to what our main topic is going to be. The absolutely zero controversy, Premier Access Fast Pass. Let's do it.
And now we present our feature presentation on the DisGeek podcast.
This happy place welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here age relives fond memories of the past, and here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Disneyland is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America, with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
All right, everybody, it is time for our main topic for today. And so in case you don't know, let's talk about what this is. Premier Access. Now, Jess, you might know a little bit about it. You purposely kept yourself in the dark because you wanted to be surprised because I was telling you about it and you're like, you weren't sure what I was talking about. So here is what's happening at Disneyland Paris. Okay. They launched an app and it's like they're new, like this is our app and you get to do everything you need to do here. Buy your tickets, hotel rooms. It's going to be like, I guess, kind of like a Magic Band, maybe. But, you can also get your fast passes, right? But in addition to like your normal, like they had like, it wasn't normal fast passes. Like it was kind of like there was an option where you can do sort of like a virtual queue, I think, maybe for more popular things. I could be wrong on this, but what the additional thing was called Premier Access to certain attractions. So what this basically was, it's a paid fast pass. And it costs 8 to 15 euros, which translates to about $9 to $18 depending on the ride. It's per ride. Per person. So
what?
You want to go on Space Mountain? That's $18 per ride for Space Mountain for the 4 of you or the 5 of you. In our case, it would be 5 of us. What's 18 times 5? That's just to get a fast pass for the ride. So this is real. This happened, and so of course now everyone's wondering, well, are they going to bring this to the United States? Are they going to bring this to Walt Disney World? Are they going to bring this to Disneyland? And I want to say that would be crazy. But supposedly this thing, they also, I guess, have this. And Tommy, do you know, was it Hong Kong or was it Shanghai or was it Japan where like it kind of, it like works? It works out there. And
I don't know. I heard about this for Paris, but I did not know that it was at the Asian parks.
The only reason I bring that up is because I was listening to an episode of the Disney Dish with Jim Hill. And he had said that they had this at one of the Asian parks and it worked and it was making money. So he was basically saying to everybody, it's coming because it makes money. If it'll make money, then Disney will do it. He was making this analogy, something to the effect like, Disney won't do something until they do. It was like one of those things like they said like, oh, we're never going to change Splash Mountain, but then it's going to happen. Or we're never going to change Maelstrom, but then they do. So it's like we're not going to charge for fast passes until they do. And so he said...
they've kind of already started that whole let's charge for fast passes with the Fast Pass Plus thing.
Yeah, which is one thing. That's a different...
Max Pass,
or whatever it's called. $10.
Yeah, Max Pass.
Sorry.
But yeah, this is like, I just think if the price was reasonable.
It's kind of interesting. Go ahead.
I'm really confused by this. So you still pay a buttload of money to get into the park, and now you're going to also have to pay to get on the rides?
Yes.
Like, that was the whole reason that the tickets existed in the first place, because it was like $5 to get into the park, and then you spent $30 getting on rides.
Now you still have standby. You still have like all the other ways of getting on the ride. It's just if you
regular
want.
Fast Pass would be gone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're now having to pay for. I mean, is this basically like a front of the line pass, like when you go to Universal, except they're doing it per ride instead of just like a one lump sum where you just have a pass to get to the front?
That's correct. And this brings up interesting questions because let's say, yes, show up, you buy your tickets months in advance and you buy a bunch of fast passes or, Premier Access, whatever they're going to call this thing. Premier Access. And then you get there and there's like not much of a line. Do you get your money back?
Yeah, right.
Right? Or it breaks down like Rise of the Resistance. Will Rise of the Resistance be part of this? You get you pay your $18 per person to get on Rise of the Resistance, and you know that ride breaks down a lot. So what happens?
No idea.
Do you get your money back?
Right. Well, there are people, they have this VIP tours.
Oh, yeah.
And they charge, in Florida, they charge $750 an hour.
Yes.
To be escorted and backdoored onto rides. But the ride that you can't be escorted onto is Rise of the Resistance.
They took it off.
They do not do that. Yeah, they don't do it for that ride. So even if you're paying $750 an hour, a minimum of 8 hours, and that's around $5,000, you're still not going to be able to go ride Rise of the Resistance. Even having, so I don't know why would they do Premier Access for $18 a piece if they're not going to give it to you for $750.
Yeah,
true. That is a good question.
So
and then in that same episode, Len Testa. In that same episode, Len Testa brought up that people were complaining, people who were staying at the Grand Floridian, who are paying $10,000 to stay in that room, and they're going, why can't I get a fast pass? VIP is only paying $5,000 or for the day. I'm paying $10,000. Right. Well, where's my fast pass?
Yeah. You buy a room at the Poly and you're paying $800 to $100 a night. You're staying there for 2 weeks or 7 days or whatever it is, and that's right there. That's $5,600. For a room at the Polynesian.
I don't know.
It just doesn't. To me, it doesn't add up. I think it doesn't. It's not. I don't see the value in it. Me personally, I think. I've been thinking about this for a while, and it's kind of retrospectively because I've had an annual pass for so long, and I've been able to go to both resorts, Disneyland and Walt Disney World, quite a bit the last 10 years, and I've been to Disneyland probably. I think the last count, according to my pass, was around 800 or 900 times. Something like that, something crazy like that, and. It's kind of like if I didn't get on it, so be it. It's okay. I've been on it, been on this attraction before, and and stuff like that, and I'm cool with it. It's cool. I don't need it. I've been privileged enough to go and do it many times before. There are people they go on these vacations and they have once in a lifetime trips, or they're going because they want to celebrate something special, and I don't need to be there clogging up the line or trying to get my way because I'm here and I bought this ticket and blah blah blah. It's just I guess I've enjoyed it. I do enjoy it. I don't need to have some special privilege or purchase some sort of thing so I can go ride a ride or something like that. I don't need that in my life, and and I still will enjoy the parks whether I ride a ride or or go to a restaurant or something like that. I'll still enjoy the parks because the most important thing is to be with my family and my friends, and the parks have been an incredible place to make memories that way.
That's right.
And and so it's not about, if I was in the Haunted Mansion in Florida or in California or whatever, but I was with my friends there.
Yeah.
And I think of all the times I spent with you guys and the memories there, and that's, to me, that's much more important. And then I see a company that is, and I'm an investor, like I own stock in Disney, so I'm okay with them making money. I'm okay with them making a profit. Do they make obscene profits?
But they don't need to be so greedy.
Yeah, I think that they need to kind of reevaluate and kind of try to say, well, how can we make this more open to more people, and so they can have a better experience? I mean, because when I look at the pictures, even now, I mean, post-pandemic or mid-pandemic, we're still in, or whatever it is. I mean, people are crowding at the park. Amazing crowds there. I don't know how much money they're making over it, but definitely they're making some money because people are showing up every day.
Yeah, I don't think annual passes are coming back. I don't think they're coming back, and I think it's because I don't think they need to come back. I don't think Disney needs them.
I think they do. Here's the reason why, and I think it's not because it's for annual pass holders. I think the reason why annual passes will have to come back is because of DVC. And there's DVC people that come to the parks, 2 or 3 times a year, and they spend, 2 or 3 weeks at the parks, and they don't want to buy tickets every time they go. They want to buy an annual pass. So
maybe they'll have some sort of DVC
value
pass then available.
Well, that's what I think. Yeah, that's. That's
if
what
they
I've
don't
heard.
have the annual passes come back,
Yeah,
they're
but
probably
it may-
have to do something.
Yeah, and so what will happen is people will buy, to get an annual pass, they'll buy the DVC buy a DVC, the lowest cost DVC they can buy, and then they can buy the DVC pass, which is kind of makes no sense whatsoever, because I don't think, for me personally, DVC is a good way to spend money, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think there's the talk I hear, and I think you've all heard about it before, is that annual passes, they want to come up with some kind of a membership type of a thing, probably kind of something like, it'll be kind of like you can come these dates, you'll have certain emissions, maybe 1 emission a month or something like that, any day you can get, and then there'll be emissions during the week, the lower times,
Right.
that sort of thing. It'll be probably very, very limited, so you can go maybe 24 times in a year instead of people going every day or every other day.
Right.
Of course, there's people that do that, but whatever. I think you can have other Disney experiences. I mean, you got downtown Disney, which you can just go park and come in and enjoy. I mean, it's obviously that, at Walt Disney World, you have Disney, the other resorts, which you can get on property and, enjoy the bars and the atmosphere, which is kind of cool.
I think it's important to know that, like, anybody listening, you don't have to buy into all this, these upgrades and stuff like that. I was an annual pass holder for many, many years, and I never once bought into, spend money to spend money type of the events that they would always do. I have only gone to
those ticketed events to buy specific merchandise.
Yeah, and I've only done
you don't
Mickey's Halloween Bash or whatever, but back when I was at DCA, a handful of times. I mean, you can still enjoy Disneyland and Walt Disney World, and you don't have to buy into, extra fast passes and all that stuff. And you will still have a great time. I think this is all just, it's targeted to people who have money to burn. I think. I just, I don't think Disney cares.
It's an upper middle class, upper, high net worth people that, again, that what will spend the money because they have the money to spend it, and that's why you have why Disney builds places like Golden Oak.
Right.
Why you know what I mean, and
Yeah.
why they made that's why they made they make deals with Four Seasons. That's why they have a Four Seasons resort hotel, a real 5-star Michelin grade hotel.
Yeah.
On property. None of the hotels on the Disney property, other than the Four Seasons, can match what the Four Seasons do.
Right.
I mean, and so, and there are people that, they see Disney and they see, all the amenities, and they say, this is not what I'm used to, and I rather stay at a Four Seasons. And so Disney makes a deal with Four Seasons, and have people come in and they enjoy it, and they have a great experience. So I mean, it's just like the cruise industry. It's just, you have your Carnival Cruise Line, and then you have your very expensive.
You have the booze cruise, or
you have the rock and roll booze cruise, or you have the the chartered cruises, where and it's just.
So there's something for everyone.
There's something for everyone. Yeah, exactly.
And everyone's financial means.
Right. And I was telling my wife, I said, the last time we were there just back in May at Walt Disney World, and we had a great time. The weather was perfect and everything like that. I shared with it on the last show. But, overall, I told my wife, I said, next time, because we went every day to a different park every day.
Yeah.
I told my wife, I said, you know what? I think what I'd like to do is let's go to the parks every other day and enjoy the resorts and go find something new to experience, because, all we do is kind of rush, and I want to savor this, because there's going to be a time when I'm not going to be able to go and do all this, because, I'm getting up there. I'm 60 this year. I don't know how my health is going to be in 10 years or 20 years or stuff like that. But I do know I want to savor things more and more, and savor the experiences I have in life. And sometimes you got to slow down and stop and smell the roses and enjoy what's around you, and take it in, and not rush. I think so many people, they rush one thing another and stuff like that. I gotta meet my deadline to go get my my restaurant reservation and this and that, and if it's not right, you get upset because you didn't get there in time, you lost your reservation, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, they definitely made, like, a Walt Disney World vacation is not relaxing.
It's a little stressful.
Yeah.
It is an anxiety,
but it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It is a lot of fun, and I think and a lot of kids. It's overwhelming for a lot of kids, and a lot of a lot of
Forget
experiences.
the kids, man. It's overwhelming to adults.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is.
I know I'm pretty overwhelmed every time I'm out there, and it's like.
Yeah, it's like I was with some friends, and they said, when you go to Disney Hollywood Studios, you got to go try this certain dessert. It's brand new. Can you get one for us? It's like it's gonna be melted by the time I get it to you. But they didn't care. But it's just like, it's like when we got to Disney Hollywood Studios, my wife says, "No, we can't forget. You gotta remind me." It's like,
yeah,
it's kind of, I don't need the stress of having to get a dessert for somebody and stuff like that. I don't want that.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't mind doing that, but let's not put it on the front of our brain. Oh, we can't forget it. That sort of thing. I think what it is that, we all are striving for some kind of solace in our life, and some kind of, we want some peace, and we want to have some like great memories. And so many of our things that we used to enjoy have changed so much because of the pandemic. And so we're kind of like doubling down on that type of stuff. We want to have what we had before.
The frenzy with people this year. So much. So much pressure.
We want to have it. We want to have that same feeling we had before. It's kind of like when we went to, when we were at Walt Disney World this time, they didn't have the fireworks, and now we learned that Happily Ever After and the Epcot Forever fireworks shows are going to be gone after October 30th, 31st. And so it's kind of like we missed the fire. We're not going to see the fireworks unless I, plan a trip between now and, October 31st or September 30th. Sorry.
That happened to us. Like we went. Our last trip, it was the first year we moved to North Carolina. We drove up there. We only stayed for about 3 days. So we tried to cram the 4 parks into 3 days. So hard. we split up between Epcot and Hollywood Studios. So we didn't do most of Future. No, we did all of Future World, and we didn't do most of World Showcase, except for Frozen. That was the only. We never got further than that. And one of the things we had decided that we were going to do was we decided to pass on Illuminations and see the Star Wars fireworks instead. The reasons is because my wife doesn't really like Illuminations, and I think our kids,
a huge Star Wars freak.
Our kids, I think, would have been bored with it as well. I think they were a little. I don't know. I just that's the call we made, and I thought like everyone loves Star Wars, so let's watch the Star Wars fireworks. That would have been a new experience for everybody. And unfortunately, the Star Wars fireworks got canceled that night. For whatever reason, and as we were walking back sadly to the parking lot, we could see down the road Illuminations going off. Not knowing that I would never see Illuminations again because they got rid of it, because now it's gone.
Yeah.
So I so regret that decision.
Well, the thing is that I get that. I mean, we're all going to have disappointments. I mean, when you come to the theme parks, it's just because of weather, because of, people around you, and, just different things can happen, ride breakdowns. And I think that, if you can come back with the experience that, hey, we had a great day with our family, we maybe met somebody new, we had a unique experience with a cast member, that was memorable. Maybe you had a memorable meal, that sort of thing, and you try to find the good out of it. And you were on vacation too, it's just your kids are going to have a great memory about it, I'm just saying, I think that's the best thing. I mean, you made a memory instead of staying at home, have your kids look at screens.
That's right.
So, I think that's the most important thing, is that you and Lori, took the time to take your kids on a vacation, and that's a big deal. I mean, I remember all the vacations my parents took us on, and where we've traveled around the world, and I cherish those, and so your kids will cherish those times, I know. And so I think that even though it didn't work out perfectly, and things happen, and in retrospect, it's Illuminations is gone, YouTube is there, Daniel. I don't know.
I know. Well, believe me, every day.
Just kidding. It's kind of fun. It's like, what's really kind of cool right now is that you now can have a beautiful screen on your, on your computer or your TV, and 4K video and surround sound, and you can just crank it up.
I watch something
right?
from. Yep, I watch something from Walt Disney World every single day. I subscribe to a bunch. Yeah,
really,
yeah.
That and people will criticize you, but you know what? People do the same thing for, the national parks, and they do things for, on cruising, and everyone says, oh yeah, you guys do the same thing as such and such channel, and you're no different. Yeah, you think we're not doing the same thing. We're doing the same thing over and over again, just like everyone else in the cruising. You should go look at the Disney stuff. My God, that's multiplied times 1,000. There's anyone with a cell phone and an internet connection, thinks they're a vlogger. So I mean, which is fine. Go ahead, go for it, enjoy it. If that's something you like to do, go for it, enjoy it. This is your life. I want you to have a good time. Just remember, it's not about you getting the best shot because somebody, is there where they're, think about what other people around you. Just don't put the camera in front of your face all the time, trying to block somebody's view with a camera.
Yeah, try to enjoy the moment because you can watch it on video somewhere. Somebody else took a way better video than you ever will.
Yeah,
and it's going to be online, and you'll find it. Just enjoy the moment.
You know what might be even more better is you to take the camera and turn it around and have it face you and your child, or you and your wife, or you and your boyfriend, or your girlfriend, and take video of your faces and expressions as you're watching the fireworks. Maybe turn, hit the camera and turn around, and then you can look back and you can see the wonder in each of your eyes.
The joy and wonder.
And the joy, the wonder. Yeah, exactly. Instead of the same picture, and it'll be unique because it'll be only you two, or you and your family. Yeah. And you'll have something that your family will have forever and ever.
That is an excellent idea.
And so that's what I would, you got so many people that, they, gotta put the camera up in the air and you see them. I saw some videos just recently of, when Happily Ever After, and all these people were there with the cameras, blah, blah, blah. Just turn around and have it face your family and just like absorb the moment, get a picture. That's the most important thing.
Time, that moment.
Yeah, time is is going away every day, and so you never know what's going to happen next next week, next month, next year, and look what in the pandemic has shown us, life is fragile, and short, and short, and we'll lose. I've lost friends during the pandemic, lost their lives because of COVID. And I'll never see them again. And it's just, this is happening all over the world. But like I said, I'm thankful for all the experiences and the future experiences, because I know we're going to still be going to Disney and Disneyland and Walt Disney World. And so, Premier Access sucks.
That's the bottom line.
See, I wrote it. I got it. I got us back to that.
Thank you.
Premier Access sucks, and you know what? I think guys. I hope it dies, and I think it's a bad idea, and I think it's a
Paris, and then they just totally trash the idea.
Yeah, totally trash the idea. And
I would just wish kind of that they'd get rid of.
Part of standing in line is actually getting to know your family better, or people around you, or somebody has a funny T-shirt on, you can make a comment about it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They should
just get rid of Fast Pass, period.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the moral of the story. We have two morals. Premier Access sucks. That's number one. And number two, take a moment and slow down. But I have to hurry up and end this show because my battery's about to die. So I think it is time. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the show. I hope you enjoyed it. Comment, subscribe, hit the like button. Oh, we don't do that on podcasts. Sorry. That's it, everybody. I hope everybody enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time. Do we want to do social media? No, nobody cares. See you next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Goodbye.